friends, so I just got home from work. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kristen and this is Growing Zone 9B. Alright, and I wanted to start cooking dinner and I was like, I should shoot a video on this because, you know, I just should, so you guys can see what happens when I get home sometimes. So, as you can see over here, I already started. I have some frozen bell peppers. They're all different colors. I've got yellow, green, red. I'm gonna throw a little bit of olive oil in the pan. All right, and we have zucchinis. I've got some organic portobello mushrooms, which mushrooms make a really nice, like, kind of like a substitute for meat. So I'm gonna chop up some portobellos in here. I got it on a medium to high heat. You don't have to cook it that high. I'm just doing that because, like I said, I just got home, so try to get dinner done. I threw a steak for my fiance in the air fryer. He likes air fryer steaks when we're short on time. Alright, so just chop yourself up some of these portobellos. We get ours at Costco. Costco here actually has quite a bit of organic for us. So that's really, really nice. I love mushrooms. Mushrooms are one of my favorite things to eat. Like I said, it makes a really nice substitute for meat, in my opinion. As far as like texturally, I can eat them just plain. Some people don't like that, but I do. And we've been getting long beans from the garden, so I literally just went out there and picked these. So I'm gonna throw, look at that beautiful color. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm gonna throw some long beans in. Probably should have grabbed more. I kept them on like a rotation, like my green ones are going out now and the red ones are coming in. And then our Costco had celery, organic, and it needs to be used. So I'm gonna throw a bunch of celery in. I also have some onion. I probably should have like baby chopped my onion up, but before I came over here to do this. But I was like, no, let's be chaotic and just start cooking. That's how it is in the real world. You don't really plan it. Some people do, but I don't. I don't have time for that. I'm just like, oh, what's for dinner? Let me think about this real quick. Yeah, throw some onions in there. If you really wanted to make this kind of more like of an Asian flair, you could add some sesame oil, which I have, but I've already gone ahead and added the olive oil. I could add some of the coconut aminos. I'm probably gonna do that. You could, if you have soy sauce, you can add soy sauce. But we like to do the coconut amino because it's better for you. I have both, honestly, but and this will all cook down, and honestly, like, I will eat on this for lunches this week and stuff. So I'm just making these nice little like cubed kind of cuts on my zucchini. See, this is a good way to use what's out there in your garden. So if you've got zucchini going on, or even if I had squash, I would honestly throw some yellow squash in. I love Asian food. I love, you know, that, like, to me it's healthier, personally, but, I mean, depending on how you cook it, but they use a lot of vegetables in their diet, and so I like that. So you just chop up some of this zucchini. And I already have some rice pre-cooked. My parents came over, and I actually made some of this for my parents. And I need to cook additional zucchinis and celery so it doesn't go to waste. And so, honestly, like I said, you can eat on it all week. If you didn't want to like eat on it, or you got tired of it and you didn't know what to do, you can obviously pre-cook this and just put a little bit of that Redmond's Real on there. And you can just drop it in your freezer. I have those, I call them suck and seal, but the food saver bags. And just put it in your freezer and pull it out. Like, especially if you like doing a like kind of cooked or packaged food. It just makes it nice on nights like tonight where you don't have to think. I just prefer to eat more fresh food. So I just go ahead and cook what I got, you know, eat what's in season. But I mean, sometimes it's nice, like especially when it's cool outside. I like to come home and just eat some delicious, what I'm calling like Asian flair food. Now, if you were really daring, you could throw some of those hot peppers in there. I got some hot peppers going on in the garden right now. Woo. No thank you. I mostly grow the hot peppers just because I like to put the hot peppers in my fire ciders. And it's also good, which I haven't done it this year and I really need to, because what little bit of pumpkins I have vines left that my fiance hasn't weed whacked. Poor guy. He's a good guy, but that him and that weed eater, yeah, we're gonna have some words. He weed whacked like 3 of my pumpkins. My pumpkin vines. Poor thing. But the yard looks real nice and all pretty. But, oh well. I probably should have drug a cutting board over instead of cutting on this paper towel. Like I always say, real life, real cooking, right? This is how it is, friends. I have a cutting board. I just didn't drag it over. And then I got a compost pile already over there that I need to just take some of this stuff out to the compost. My little extras, you know. I like a lot of celery because celery is, you do your own research, as always. But celery is really good for detoxing the liver, detoxing the gut, and a lot of us have gut and liver issues. Make celery juice, drink that, drink yourself some beet juice. Beets are a little bit more difficult for me personally to grow. I know people that can grow them, but around here in our hot weather, beets seem to like it a little cooler as far as I've found. And I just keep adding to the mix here, like I said, I'll eat on this all week, so, or at least when I come home at lunch. And so it's fine with me to have leftovers. That's why I said, like, I'll eat this for breakfast. I mean, have a little veggie breakfast, because honestly I can just, if I really want to like mix it up, I can just do like a scrambled egg and then make it like an omelet. I'll call it my own version of an Asian omelet. It doesn't get much healthier than this, that's for sure. Alright, just get yourself a bunch of veggies. That's how I like it. This is my style. That's what I'm saying. Y'all gotta learn how to cook, because I think you're really gonna need it here in the future. I think knowing this stuff is really important. And like I said, I have nephews. Like, I don't want them being dependent on the system. And if it's stuff that you can grow it, use it, find ways to use it, find ways to enjoy it and eat it and be healthy. All right. I'm gonna throw a little bit of oregano leaves on it. Now, I have been dehydrating. The dehydrator is actually running right now. I can take y'all over there and show y'all. I am still putting away my oregano I've been growing, which is a good thing. All right, we're gonna use some Green Wise, which is a Publix brand. It's one of our grocery stores. Some garlic powder. If you have some garlic cloves or something, you put some garlic on there. I do have some. I'm too lazy to go get them right now. And then, of course, listen, you gotta throw a little bit of that ginger on there. Put a little bit of that ginger. Keeps the body healthy. I also have ginger. You guys saw my video on ginger. And there you have it. Mix it up. Like I said, if you want to put a little bit of coconut amino on here, you totally can do that. You make it to your flavor palette. If you like that spice, then you go in and put some of those spices on there. So, all right. And plus, you know, I'm still fighting that, man, COVID. That mess is something. At this point, I'm basically like 4 days away from being diagnosed with long haul COVID. So, yeah, you know, something. They do it to you on purpose. You know the they I'm talking about. They want the people to be sick, unhealthy, sick. Wasn't there a movie called like Sick Nation or something like that, or Sicko or something? I think it was. It was about our food system. It's true, y'all. Now all this stuff will cook down. I have some spinach out in the garden. I also have, you know, I could change this up. I did have some of the, I think they're called like Tom Thumb bok choys or something like that. They're really small bok choys. I've already been just eating that basically raw because I just like to eat it. So I don't have that many, not a lot came up. So I've planted a second round of them. But I have some sweet potato greens, and honestly, if I wanted to, I could throw some sweet potato greens in here. You gotta think outside the box, folks. You can't be just always going, oh, let's get takeout. Let's get, No, friends, let's not. Let's cook our food, know where our food came from, eat it, and enjoy it. I know I'm like over zucchining this up. Is there such a word as that? But I want to use these. I try to eat as much as these as I can while they are in season. Now I do recommend, if your food isn't very wet, you know, on the bottom, you don't want to burn this or get it kind of dry, so you can go ahead and throw a lid on. To keep your vegetables kind of steamy. Alright, and all you gotta do is just cook this down. This is the rice that I'll be using. I do have jasmine rice, but I keep that big bag for our puppies usually. My fiance eats it, but this is the brand that mostly if I'm eating rice, this is the rice that I'll eat. Now you could really change it up, the texture, and you could do some couscous, which I have. Here's the couscous. You can see it's like fine little granulars. They puff up and make like little puffy pasta balls. It's kind of hard to explain if you've never had couscous, but I recommend giving it a try. Most grocery stores have couscous. You can order this online at Amazon. This is organic. So whatever you like, you know, whatever your profile is. Get out there, explore, try different stuff, right? You're growing through this process. You're growing through change. You're growing through learning. All right, I'm gonna bring you guys down so you can actually see what this looks like. It looks fantastic. I've made it quite a bit, so I know it's delicious, so I'll just show you guys. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? All those vegetables, mushrooms. You can see the bell peppers in there. Like I said, add what you want, what your profile is, what your... Oh, look, here's the little red beans in there. The long beans, the Asian long beans. I got those Asian long beans from Baker's Creek. And so, you know, I'm sure other places sell them, but I like the red ones because it just kind of changes up the profile of like look. And we eat, you know, with our eyes. If something looks good, we're gonna eat it. Even if it's bad for us, so. Alright, I will bring you guys back as soon as that this is all done, and I will show you what it looks like and how delicious it is, and we'll give it a try. Alright, I'll see you guys soon. Alright friends, so you can see that I've been running the dehydrator today. It literally just stopped. Now obviously it's not so hot that I can't touch it. So this is what our dehydrated oregano leaves look like. And it's super easy here in Zone 9B to do this yourself. So I'm still working on my big jars, I call it. Look, I'm like almost halfway done, like a little more or less. So I just take it and just crumble it. And then if you need to, you can just like obviously break it up more. Now I keep the little stems out and I just set those aside. And I'm mostly just breaking up the leaf. Because you don't want somebody like biting down and getting that hard texture of like the stem. But look at that, a whole jar of Greek oregano. I have Cuban oregano growing as well. Now it's much smaller. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I've always got stuff going on. It's like we're always doing something around here. And I have all of my trays being used. So thank you to my Aunt Sharon for hooking me up with the dehydrator. I'm very grateful for this machine. It's super wonderful for herbs, or even if you like to make your own teas like I do. I love making my own teas. That blue butterfly pea flower is putting on so much right now. So I'm really grateful because I'll be making, hopefully, holiday gifts for everybody with those. So this is what we do. Just keep working at it. And then I'll go outside and I'll get more and I'll keep this machine running. This machine basically like doesn't stop. Not this time of the year. We stay busy. And that's just it. You've always got to be prepping and planning and, you know, really just anticipating what could happen in the future. You know, the economy is not good, as you all know. You know, you've got bickering and fighting amongst families and people in general over the elections. It's just, it's terrible. We've got wars going on in other countries, which that's always been happening since biblical times. But to me personally, like, I just feel like the world's not right, and our food system is so broken. It's just, it's unbelievable. Like, the stuff that we eat here in America is definitely not what would be permitted in other countries. And so that should tell you something. Like, we're like one of the largest consumers of like medical drugs as a country, which is terrible. Like, that should tell you we are very, very, very unhealthy. Our food system's unhealthy. It's broken. We have to go back to trying to help alleviate the food system and take care of ourselves. Like, you know, the 1930s, the 1940s, right? We started this whole like grocery thing of being dependent on these grocery stores. It was a cool thing to go to the store and just be able to get stuff whenever you wanted. And now you can buy a strawberry year round. There's a problem with that. Like, a fresh strawberry, like, you shouldn't always be able to put your hands on certain things. Like, your body needs certain things certain times of the year. And you have to get acquainted with your area. You have to know what grows for you and what you can do, and yeah. So, all right, so there you go. See, we're filling it up. We're almost there. A big giant jar. Now we gotta go out and get more. So that's what the day's like. Is like, I'm still cooking. I should probably go over here and check on it before we walk out, right? There it is. It's still cooking. See, there's like water actually in there. You can see it. So that's what I'm saying. You got to make sure your vegetables are fairly juicy so that you can really steam these vegetables down. And then take this natural, this is vegetable broth, you know, at its finest. Don't just be like, ooh, I don't want that deliciousness right there. Take that broth and pour it over your rice, or save it for a soup recipe if you don't really want it. Like, find a way to utilize all this goodness. All right, let's go outside and get some oregano. Right, so here's one of the baby little bok choys that I've been actually eating from. And you can see, like, I've been picking at it, but I definitely need more of this, and I can't wait for it to cool down. There's my toilet paper plant starting to produce, which I'm really excited about that, because you can wipe your bum with that if you needed to. And you got to make sure that you don't mix it up with the Greek oregano, because see, my oregano has a very similar look to it. So we're going to be picking these oregano leaves and taking them in and getting them ready for dehydration. And now's the time, because we've been getting a lot of rain, and so these are really producing. And the more you pick, the more they'll grow. And that's what you want. And it smells good. It's soft and velvety. I don't know if you can tell that, but just look at that leaf. It's beautiful. And I pick all kinds. I pick the big ones. I pick the little ones. Look, they're so tall. They're like all the way up here. I've got a bunch over here. And this is what it's about. I'm still in my work clothes, as you guys can see. So you just can't stop. You gotta always be prepping, always planning. I work, so you know, you gotta just find the time. Sustainability is not easy, or at least trying to become sustainable to some degree. And you never know, like, you want this kind of stuff because you may need to barter in the future. Somebody may have eggs or beef, and if you're hungry, you can go, look, I have all this oregano. I have spices were a big thing back in the day, you know? And honestly, if you couldn't get to a store, how would you get your spices today? That's what you got to think about. Is if you can't be dependent on always going to that store and getting, you know, what you need from the store. So you've got to really think outside the box. What grows in your area? The more northern you are, the more likely you are to be able to get a lot of herbs. But herbs really spice up your life and give you some deliciousness that your food wouldn't have that flavor for. That's the key. You want lots of flavor. Look at all these. Whoops, as I drop some. It's a nice handful. Get your spices, get your herbs. All right, we're gonna head in and check on the food and just continue doing this. So that's what I'm saying, y'all. You gotta be prepping, you gotta be planning, you gotta start, you know, figuring out what you're gonna do if something happens. So, and if not, this is just good knowledge to have, because at some point the food system's gonna break. So whether the world breaks itself or what's gonna happen, I don't know, but the system can't handle what we're putting on it. So, and look at me, I've been sick for like ever now, like it seems like. I've been sick for a long time, and I eat healthy for the most part. I eat really decently well, and I'm still struggling. So think about the people that don't eat like me. So, all right, so here is our dinner. You can see it's nice and steamy. There's just steam coming up off of it. Look at how delicious that is. Just rice and some beautiful vegetables. Listen, sometimes, friends, that's all you need. You don't need to eat meat every day. I'm always hitting that dishwasher. So delicious. All this freshness. I honestly don't even need the rice. Like, the vegetables are just fine with me. But there you have it. Beautiful and delicious dinner. So get out there, get growing, think outside the box, and, you know, just be preparing and planning and try to pull some of that, you know, weight off of your grocery stores. Try to start doing for yourself, because I think you're really gonna need it. The more we move towards the future, the more I see, you know, issues. And our food system's broken, so you need to know where your food's coming from. You need to eat healthy, you need to eat natural. So, all right, everyone, as always, until next time, love one another, be kind, and I will see you guys in my next video.